All right, good afternoon. So my name is Tina Peterson. I'm the Executive Director of the Harris County Flood Control District, and I would like to welcome you today to this project site where we are recognizing an important infrastructure investment in the Addicks Channel Restoration and Rehabilitation Project. First, I do want to recognize both Commissioner Briones and Commissioner Ramsey, who are here with me today, because this investment covers both Harris County Precinct 3 and Precinct 4. And I also have to stress the work that we are recognizing today would not be possible without the dedication, the vision, and the leadership of both the commissioners who are standing here today. They are committed to expanding investments in infrastructure and making sure that our channels work as intended. So this region has been impacted by multiple storms over the last 10 years. We had Tax Day in 2016, Hurricane Harvey in 2017, and those storms brought unprecedented amounts of sediment into the channels that drain into the Addicks Reservoir, causing sediment accumulation in some areas and erosion in other areas. And so in response to these storms, the Flood Control District stood up multiple restoration projects right after Harvey, but that work was not enough. We still have a backlog of work that must be addressed. And that is what we are here today to acknowledge, to recognize. A project that tackles 24 different locations in this backlog, and it is a multi-year $25 million investment. These channels play a critical role in carrying storm water to the reservoirs, and it strengthens this system that provides critical flood risk reduction for thousands of homes and businesses across Northwest Harris County. And this work is made possible by really the recognition of the voters in 2024 and their desire to support a tax rate increase, as well as, again, the vision, the leadership, and the dedication of both Commissioner Ramsey and Commissioner Briones. And so with that, I would like to turn the microphone over to Commissioner Briones for a few quick remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Peterson. Thank you, Dr. Peterson, and thank you, Commissioner Ramsey. Thank you so much for your understanding and your partnership. So I'm so grateful to be here today at one of our key maintenance projects, the Addicks Reservoir Restoration Project Phase 3. We all vividly remember Hurricane Harvey and the negative impact and trauma that we experienced. And I think of it often because I was incredibly super pregnant, about to have my third daughter during Harvey, and I thought I was going to have her in a bathtub. And so she is my visual reminder of how long it has been since Harvey. And so we are working in Harris County on a both and. We are both delivering flood bond projects, capital projects, and we're maintaining the 2,500 miles of channel that we are responsible for through the Harris County Flood Control District. So thank you, the voters of Harris County, for passing the flood maintenance investment of approximately $100 million per year. And this was passed unanimously at Commissioner's Court to go to the voters. And so I'm thankful to be here today. This project in this area will enhance safety for approximately 1 million residents. There have been over 12 storms in the past 25 years. And so with this $25 million investment, that is a total of 8 miles of repair and restoration over 24 different sites in this Addicks Reservoir, will offer the safety and protection. We are committed to delivering these flood bond projects and the maintenance projects, and there are so many more. We encourage you to go to the Harris County Flood Control website to see the myriad of projects, both the new projects as well as the maintenance. At the end of the day, I'm not standing here as your commissioner of Precinct 4. I'm standing here as a mom. I'm standing here as somebody who's had big trees fall, and I pray that my roof is not crushed. I have seen the water raising in my backyard, and it looks like a lake, and you are afraid. And this happens every single time it starts to rain. My daughters have a level of trauma, and I know we all carry that here in Harris County. So know that we will be relentless in delivering the flood bond projects, as well as using this investment that you have made in maintenance, so that we can keep our families as safe as possible, and because we know it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And with that, very, very briefly in Spanish, thank you. I know the Spanish language media is here. Buenas tardes a todos. Aquí estamos en el precinto 3 con el comisionado Tom Ramsey y también la directora del Harris County Flood Control District, la doctora Peterson. Y estamos aquí en un sitio del Addicks Reservoir que estamos haciendo un proyecto de mantenimiento de $25 millones que va a ayudar 8 millas aquí del canal para proteger a ustedes y sus familias. Esta es una zona donde más de 1 millón de personas viven, así que esta inversión de $25 millones va a proteger a ustedes y su familia. En el condado Harris, la Corte de Comisionados, estamos bien enfocados, no solamente terminar con los proyectos del Flood Bond, pero también mantener el 2.500 millas de canales que tenemos. Y yo sé que cada vez hay una lluvia fuerte, mis hijas se preocupan. Yo también preocupo y merecemos tener esa seguridad que estamos en una posición mejor que durante y después del huracán Harvey. Así que nosotros, el equipo de Condado Harris, estamos aquí para servirle antes, durante y después de cada tormenta. Así que muchas gracias, estamos aquí para servirle.
Thank you, Commissioner Briones. Appreciate the, again, opportunity to kick off a flood control project. I would say welcome to Precinct 3. This is what progress looks like in terms of actually dealing specifically with critical maintenance issues in the county. If you remember, we announced just a few weeks ago that we're on track to implement and complete $3.5 billion worth of flood mitigation projects that'll be done over the next 4 to 5 years. But this project that we're looking at today is different. This in Precinct 3 is important in terms of specific maintenance projects that we do. As Commissioner Briones referenced, we voted in terms of doing a flood maintenance tax. We voted for that. This is a clear example of what that flood maintenance will look like. The specifics of it, you've heard the $25 million. That's going to be over 5 years. This is funded again by our maintenance program. But some of the specifics related to projects that are the 8 miles of channel repair, the 50,000 cubic yards of sediment removal coming out of the bayous. There are some of these bayous in Harris County that have never been maintained. There's some of these 2,500 miles of creeks and channels in Harris County that have never been maintained. So I'm excited that this is one of the first and major projects that we're doing on the bond issue, but to do 50,000 cubic yards of sediment, 11,000 linear feet of storm pipe, 115,000 tons of rock. If you look at that rock behind me, that's an example of the rock that's going to be done to help stabilize our slopes. A lot of them have eroded through the years. I know you are tired as I am. Every time a flood comes through, we have to name it after Tax Day or Memorial Day or Allison or any of the rest of these storms that come through. Well, we are actually dealing specifically with what's going to help homes. I look in this neighborhood, I played golf in this neighborhood with a lot of our constituents, and I can tell you that when the storms hit, it impacts people, it impacts their homes, and we need to provide more assurance to them that not every storm, not every time it clouds up, that we're going to have an event. So this is an exciting day for us, that we are actually going through and beginning to spend the $100 million. That's $100 million per year. So Dr. Peterson behind me, we've had many conversations. We are going to stay focused on seeing is how much of that $100 million we can turn into projects like you see behind me and making a specific difference in the neighborhood. Thank y'all for covering this. It's important.
Thank you, Commissioner Ramsey. I do want to say I am so appreciative of both Commissioner Ramsey and Commissioner Briones for being here. Their leadership and dedication is the reason that projects like this get done. I also want to acknowledge the flood control team, our communications and infrastructure divisions, who are really the heart of this work. And I also want to acknowledge the contractor who is here doing the work on the ground. We rely on our contracting community to help us put these projects into reality. And so we are so thankful to have great contractors to work with to help execute this important project. So thank you again. And we will now do a brief media availability, and we will close after that. Thank you.
What's going on behind you? Is that you said there's broken rocks? Is that what they're doing back there?
Yeah, the major rock, as Dr. Peters can tell you, that's meant to stabilize the slope.
Yep.
Erosion's a huge problem. You can see a lot of these have failed, and over time, this will work its way back up into the neighborhood. So this will help stabilize the slopes so that the water, and when you lose a slope, when you have erosion, you have sediment. So this will also help mitigate, prevent future sediment from coming into the channel.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I would say that this is really a staging area for the project behind us. Work is happening, all up and down this area. And when you look along the edge of the water, as Commissioner Ramsey was talking about, you can clearly see the erosion that has been happening that we will be arresting as part of this project. Are there any other questions? All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate it all.